and you jump on there and you get the Robin Hood, the stash, and you just start putting your $100 out there and it's giving you recommendations. Oh, ABC stock is hot. It ain't gonna cost you $0 to get it. And you start buying, then you're no different than the guy going to Vegas. You're no different than the guy getting the lottery ticket when they say Mega Ball is $2 billion. Now Mega Ball is $2 billion, and you normally only had 100, but man, I'm throwing 1,000 out there. Boom, 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 boom. And now when the market goes down because Trump said something, or the earnings report came back from annual reports, which determines the fluctuation in the stock market,
right,
and they didn't hit their numbers, and that stock goes down, and all of a sudden you panic and say, oh, I got to pull my money out. Now you planting the blame. But guess what? You had lack of education, you were emotionally unstable, and now you're blaming everything on the technology because you didn't use the principles of education, experience, and access to capital properly. So to answer your question, those are great vehicles for people who have education, experience, access to capital. If you don't have a high financial IQ and you don't have a high emotional IQ, no, they are not. Okay. You will be better served putting your money under the bed.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so another question is, this for a lot of people who watch the news and been hearing that 2019 to 2020 there might be another recession coming, and they want to know what they should do to so they're protected and nothing. My friends were actually talking about that in the group chat this morning, and I was like, I'm going to be talking to somebody and I'll get back to you. So a lot of people wanted to know what they should do in case of a recession, or leading up to, rather.
Okay, so if you have done the research and you followed the traditional trends, and I'll take you back to 2008, and I talk about it in the ABCs of Wealth, Common Sense Strategy to Achieving the American Dream. Having been in the market, started to practice in 2000, yeah, so 2008. So I was about 7 years into my profession. Okay, had seen the trends, had heard. I saw the market crash, around about 2000, right? 1989, we had a blip. Okay, I also saw 1987, which they call Black Friday. I saw that. Okay, right. So having seen those through my education and my experience, when 2007 started coming upon us, and having doing a lot of deals and working with a lot of clients and investors as their advisor, I saw the pattern forming. I knew the market was about to, make a correction. I didn't know it was going to make a steep correction. Nobody knows everything, okay? And I had the wherewithal to look at my plan. What is your plan? What plan have you been working on the last 5 years? If you don't have a plan that's been working in place for the past 5 years, the past 36 months, or you, like most people, and I'm saying you generically, not right. Malcolm specifically or me, but you're talking about this New Year's resolution stuff. First thing I'm going to advise you to do is to sit down, write a plan. I want you to write a plan for 12 months, write a plan for 36 months, and write a plan for 60 months. That's called a short-term, an intermediate, and a long-term plan, okay? Inside that 12-month plan, I'm sorry, Malcolm, I want you to have 4 checkpoints every 90 days of where you want to be. So when I tie that into the market's going to fluctuate, and I told you this the last time we interviewed, I told you the market's going to make a correction in about 24, 36 months, okay, right. Because of the election and a lot of the things that are going on in the market. So what you should do, instead of, being the boy crying wolf, you should look at your plan, what you want to accomplish, and then say, okay, what can I afford to risk in a volatile market? In a volatile market, wealthy people make their wealth in a down market.
Because a lot of people pull their money out?
Right, exactly. So people, when they see the market go down, they're selling and taking losses. They're the pig. So let me tell you a story. There's a story between, what's the difference between the pig and the chicken when it comes to breakfast? To get bacon, what has to happen to the pig, Malcolm?
Pig has to die.
Pig got to die. to get eggs, what got to happen to the chicken?
Chicken just has to, yeah.
Drop a couple of eggs and keep it moving, right?
Yeah.
So in the industry, you know, pigs get slaughtered. So you don't become the pig if you have a plan. And if you see the instability in the market, let me ask you a question. If all of a sudden Amazon stock went down 50% tomorrow, are you panicking about the viability of Amazon?
No.
Why not?
Because it's such an established company.
Yeah, not only is it such an established company, it's taken over and dominated a lot of the big boys.
Right. We bought Walmart, they're buying everything else. So yeah.
Right. So if I got a plan and I've looked at the history of Amazon and all of a sudden I missed it, I'm saying, here's a sale, baby. Let me get in and get me some Amazon right now.
Okay.
Because if the turmoil and the tumultuous, you know, atmosphere because of the president's talking crazy and China's talking crazy, and all of a sudden people get nervous and the evaluators of the market, people start pulling out, but Amazon is showing you in their annual report, their earnings beat expectations, but they still see their stock drop. Me as an investor with a plan saying, baby, that was 1987 when IBM stock dropped and it went back up. Boom, let me buy. That was 1999 when the Y2K thing was a hoax and people's stock went down and the good Amazon stocks of that day, Yahoo, were available and I didn't buy that time. I'm buying, baby.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
But if I got a plan to say, I want to be an investor, how do I become an investor? I already told you. How do you become a good investor? First, get the ABCs of wealth. Common sense strategy, achieve an American dream. Then, follow the man who knows more about investing than anybody. Then, look at the pattern and say, hey, here's this other guy named Peter Lynch, tells you how to beat Wall Street. Everything they talk about is planned, technical stock investing, which is taught looking at trends in the market of good companies, reading their annual reports, seeing did they make their earnings, are they venturing into some new deal that's going to revolutionize the business and make them become more than a book selling company, i.e. Amazon.
Right.
The Kindle came out, nobody thought it was going to revolutionize the business. It did. Then they came out with distribution centers and bought other people out. Now Amazon is at $1,400. No, Amazon today is at $1,600. If tomorrow Amazon goes down to $1,200 and I got money and I looked at the plan and I looked at the trends over the past 2 decades and I see the blips or the dips in the market, I'm buying.
Right.
So that's part of my plan because that's a sale, baby. That's a sale. That's a unadulterated sale if I done the homework. Okay, so I don't panic. The next thing I do, which I did in 2008, when I do see the portions of the market that I'm in that the annual reports are showing that they're not doing good business, i.e. Sears, i.e. Sprint. And if I were in those markets and I've been over time and they just been, stagnant, what they call straddle, not moving up, not moving down, they're sideways. I now say, hey, guess what, Malcolm? Guess what, Money Coach DJ? My $100 was 102 last year. Then it dropped to 98. The year before that was 100. It was 98. It ain't been doing that. But the horizon says there's a big storm coming, and that stock gonna drop value. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that stock and I'm gonna go to cash inside my portfolio. And I give you 3 guesses, Malcolm. The first 2 don't count. What do you think I did in 2008?
What in terms of like which actual companies?
In terms of investing in the stock market, what do you think I did in 2008? Having followed my plan, looked at the trends over the past 2 decades, looked at Black Monday, looked at the Y2K, heard the rumblings of a storm coming in 2008, and I was in the market. I give you 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. What do you think I did?
You took advantage of the good companies that looked like everybody was pulling out from, and you took advantage of those sales.
Exactly. Yeah. And I got out of the bad ones.
Right.
I put my money to the side. I put my money into a money market account inside my stock investment portfolio that all it did was make my money worth the dollar it was worth. I didn't make any money on it. I didn't lose any money on it.
But
now, conversely, most people didn't see that coming, and a lot of people lost 30, 40, 50, 80% of their portfolios. Now, here's the wisdom. If they stood in part and didn't panic too, and they had stable companies that weren't about to decapitalize and go out of business, those companies took 10 years just to get back to what they lost. So the people who are bragging to you about, oh man, yeah, my stuff came back. Okay, let's just do basic math. All right, big hero, let's do basic math. You had $100. The market crashed in 2008, big time, biggest crash ever in the history of my lifetime. You had 100 the day before it crashed. The day after, you had $20. Now, let's move forward to 2019. Now you tell me you got 140. You 40 up, right?
Right, yeah.
You 40 up. Okay. Now, let's put in this little rule called the rule of 72 for investors. Rule of 72 means this was discovered by Albert Einstein. Take the rule 72, take the amount of interest that you're earning for you or against you, and divide it into the number 72. It'll tell you how quickly your money will double. So if I had a 7% return, which is the least you should make as any investor, okay? I divide that into 72. That says every 10 years, my money doubles, right? So I had $100 in 2008. That means in 2018, 10 years later, how much money should I have in my investment?
You should have
200.
Yeah.
How much you tell me you got today, big baller?
Oh, 140.
140. So where you at, dog?
Yeah.
Where you at? Now you 40 ahead, but you ain't really killing it because you still making up
right.
that $60, right? But you know what a lot of people gonna tell you, oh man, I'm ahead. Yeah, you are ahead. I agree. But you ain't really ahead because add in inflation and all that. Let me tell you who's ahead. The guy who hedged the market. They got a book called Too Big to Fail, which actually became a movie. It was based on the derivatives that actually helped the market crash through these toxic mortgages that were sold primarily in the black community.
That movie, what was the movie called?
Too Big to Fail.
I watched that.
By Sorkin. Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah, Too Big to Fail. And it tells you how derivatives and swaps work. And when that market crashed, this one cat that did all the work, the stock market owed him almost $500 billion. They never paid him because he did such things so right that they basically just ran him over, dude. He was buying up all these toxic stocks as they were going down, and since he did what's called a short, they had to pay him billions and billions of dollars, man.
The Big Short.
The Big Short. That's
Big
right.
Short. Big Short. Okay.
Big Short. All written by Alan Sorkin. If you such a big baller, and you telling me today that $100 you had in 2000 that went down to 20, but it's now back to 140, you killing it. But based on the rule of 72, you ain't killing it. Because if you were killing it, you'd have about 300. You follow me?
Right.
So again, how does that relate to the question? Hey, you know what? There's going to be a tumultuous market, the president election and this stuff, and the market's going to take another recession. Well, how does that relate? What is my plan? What is the trend over the past 2 decades? When was there a similar pattern to right now? Now, look at all those variables. Now look at the standard, stable, foundational investments. Which stocks are going to still be solid stocks based on the annual report and the earnings that are going to go on sale that you can buy?
Right.
And which stocks are not performing and are collapsing because they've been stagnant sideways for the last 3 to 5 years? Sears, companies like that. And if that's in your portfolio, I'm going to cash out,
Right.
put my money in my money market, and I'm going to buy more of the Amazon. Now, let me preface this as a disclaimer. I am not telling anybody in your community to do that without consulting with a certified professional stock investor, broker, CPA, financial advisor who has a securities license, either Security 7, Security 65. I'm going to say that again. I'm not giving anybody financial advice on those two particular stocks in any shape, size, or form. If you have not done your research and you have not consulted with a Series 7, Series 65 person that can show you the trends, and most importantly, Malcolm, you have done the research and you are following a plan. And what does that plan consist of? Education, experience, access to capital and resources by you doing a little bit of work. First, starting with investing in yourself by reading, following people down the road, which you are, because if you're looking for the hot tip, the mega ball, and this, dude, this ain't the conversation for you.
Thanks.
So hopefully I was very clear on that, because as a professional, I have to make sure that people don't run out. And that's one thing we primarily tell when we're giving seminars, we're doing educational events with people, talking to companies. We let them know before you do anything, do not go out and access or engage in anything that we've said without consulting somebody that has a proven license, track record, etc. Because if not, you're just legalized gambling, and there will be no accountability or responsibility on our behalf because you were irresponsible and you were being emotional, jumping in the water, and you knew you didn't know how to swim.
All right.
Does that answer that question?
It does. Real quick, I want to you talked about when you talked about every 90 days, every quarter, you said you should be you should sit down with your plan and you should look at 4 points. I wanted you to go over those 4 points.
Okay, yeah. So see, we're custom, like every new year, man, everybody's excited. Everybody feels good, and they run out what I call ignorance on fire. You got a couple of information come to you, sound good, boom. And you run out ignorance on fire, so you have some perceived success, but it's really not success. It's just a lot of activity, and you did it so fast, you're gonna ruffle some leaves, and some stuff gonna get up, and it's gonna move.
Right.
Okay. So in my first 90 days of this new year, I want to say, hey, based on my plan, I should be right about here, so I can get a gauge. So if you ever ran track, you know, or you ever ran a marathon, I'll say a marathon. If you never ran a marathon, the first thing they do is have you run a 5K. Then after you get some strength and endurance, do they extend you out to a middle marathon? Then when you get that, then they say, after this point, you should be able to easily make it through the marathon, and here should be your times. So in 90 days, you should say, you know what? First thing, did I pay down a portion of that credit card? Did I put some money in my emergency fund? Did I buy the proper life insurance policy, whole life versus term life? And if I bought the whole life, did that make the right decision for me at this point in my life? And if the answer is yes, I have these assets, I'm over this age, and I have these heirs to be left to, check. If I'm this age, 25 or less, and I don't need any investments and savings on that insurance policy, I just need pure protection. And matter of fact, like DJ the Money Coach said, you know what? I'd like to get that money back after 20 years. I got a return on premium. Check. That's part of my plan.
All right.
So in 90 days, I'm checking off one of those. Now, at the 180-day mark, I'm saying I got that taken care of. My credit card came down. I got my Roth IRA started. I got my proper insurance. I've freed up some stuff. I'm a little less stressful. Yeah, my boy told me he made $100, $200 in the stock market since then, but he ain't got a plan. Okay? I cleared all of that because my boy still got debt because he ain't paid off his credit card.
Right.
He ain't got the proper insurance, but he looked good.
Right.
You ever seen that before?
Mm-hmm.
Aretha Franklin, Prince, et cetera, et cetera. Millions of dollars out there in the market, but they don't control none because when they left, they had no will, no trust, no nothing, and that money just got transferred right back to the capitalistic world by the white man, right?
Yep.
But Malcolm eliminated the credit card debt, got the Roth IRA, got the return on premium. His mom got the proper life insurance, and now in day 91, we said, oh, now let me invest because I also, part of my plan, I read the annual report of these particular companies that I've been told that are hot.
Right.
Now I got a little bit of education in that, and I opened up a investment portfolio with an investment advisor. And I tell them, hey, I want to take $1 a month, and I want to do dollar cost averaging, and I want to do what's called, dollar cost averaging and asset allocation. Okay.
Okay.
And what these are is that every time the market goes down, Malcolm, I'm going to automatically put $1 in it, And if the market goes on sale, I'm going to get more for my dollar than less. With dollar cost averaging and asset allocation combined, like a recipe to make a great chocolate cake. Okay?
Okay.
That's what you do. So now the next 90 days, you've done that. You're now crawling, now starting to walk a little bit. Now in day 181, oh man, I get it. I understand how it works. We're at the midterm. Yeah, some stuff is about to pop. Now let me jump on and get me the Robinhood or the Snash app, because I understand stuff, because I've been doing it for 6 months. Now my boy over here told me he made 200-300. He now coming back to me, man, I'm down to 100. I'm down to this. Because he didn't have no plan. He was just throwing stuff out there.
Right.
This falls into the old fable, Aesop's fable, the tortoise versus the hare. Okay?
Right.
You're now in 6 months and 1 day. You understand how those vehicles work because you've been applying the principles. Now your confidence is up. You understand the strategies. You read the book. You understand it. You went back and consulted with your team. You took a class, went through a webinar, got some understanding, applied some of the things. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. You looked at your plan, boom, boom, boom. Now, I see it coming. Oh man, yep, Amazon about to drop down, baby. I got some more money because I got no debt. I'm not paying 20% interest on the credit card. I didn't overpay for the insurance policy, which is costing me $10 extra every month that I didn't know. I now got $60, got me a couple of stacks. Now I jump on that app, boom, Amazon's on sale. I'm in the third quarter of my 12-month plan. Now at the end of the year, I get even wiser. I got more experience through education. Now I got access to capital, baby. Do you feel me?
Yep.
Now I go in and get me some dividend stock on sale. Boom. Now I'm getting excited. Now I can implement stage 2 of my intermediate plan. Now I can look up like my children who have been investors for 3 years, my oldest son for 4 years, and got a portfolio that's 5 figures. Because we crawl, walk, run, and they had the vested intelligence forced on by their dad to say, hey, talk to Uncle Kent, who created this course called Start Small, Watch It Grow, that teaches children. When I say children, I meant mentality-wise, not age-wise.
Right.
So there's grown children too, okay?
Right.
So now they're investing in dividend stock, and their portfolio is growing because they read the annual report, because the annual reports are written at a 6th grade level. And they're able to tell me, hey, Dad, guess what? You need to get GameStop. You ever heard of this little small company called GameStop?
Yep. That's why I get.
Have you ever heard of this little small company called Logitech? I gotta get Logitech. I read the annual report. I said, man, what's Logitech? And I didn't realize I got a Logitech headset. Yeah, wow. Dad, 95% of the gamers in the E-League use Logitech keyboards, mouse, headsets. And it's the only time I'll mention a stock. My children bought Logitech on 12/27 at $27. It's now at like $35.
Man.
And it's growing. But they didn't buy Logitech last year. They knew about Logitech. They didn't buy it the year before. They did their homework at a kid's level and found the pattern of their plan and the trends. You feel me?
Right. Yep.
So now you're able to engage. Now you're getting momentum, dude, like a locomotive rolling through. So when the 2008 comes again in the form of 2020 or 2021, you're prepared to get the sale and to eliminate the negative because you're debt free, got the right insurance product, got the right mutual funds. And again, where can you find it? You can find it by, boom, hey, getting the ABCs of wealth, common sense strategy to achieving a common dream.
That'll be in the description.
But before you do that, do a survey, baby. Take a course. I'm going to provide a course for your community at half off what we do.
Right. See,
because that's what it's about. Because those are the fundamental principles of success that you can go out and work with anybody. Remember, I told you my life was changed by one person that most people don't like, Susie Orman. Because I had credit card debt, bad credit, and my mother was a victim of predatory lending, but I had the sense to go pick up a book watch a PBS special and said, that makes sense. And I applied it, and boom, I went from a 525 credit score, you know, and in 18 months, over 720, in 24 months, 800 ain't never looked back. Became consumer debt free and ain't never looked back. I didn't go immediately and throw money into the market. And then when I did make the mistake with buying the variable universal life insurance, because the dude wore me down and I was able to catch it, fortunately, I said, hey, did some research. Hey, man, there's a thing out here called return on premium. Man, I don't know what that is. Cool, boss. Give me my money back. Boom. Right. Put it here. And you know what? There's been cases where I've lost money, and it's in BK1, and if people don't believe in it, it says if you find yourself in a bad deal, get out at whatever the cost is. If you find yourself in a bad deal, get out at whatever the cost is. So again, I've lost money. And so when I've lost money and I realize it's a loss, and if I continue that trend, I'm going to be even worse off, I just trusted in the BK1 or the principles of success. Universal principle, pulled my coin out, recalibrated, and followed the pattern of the people are. And I'll give you one point. Dividend stock, I was not a big proponent of dividend stock 10 years ago. But my best friend, Kent Stevens, who has a huge portfolio on dividend stock, woke me up. One day I'm sitting down at his table, him and his wife, yeah, man, I'm getting all this what? I'm looking up here, man, and he was making more money in dividend stock than most professionals I sat down with on a yearly basis.
Wow.
But me, knucklehead, he's sharing this stuff to me 10, 12 years ago. DJ, man, get you some dividend stock. Nah, man, I need my money right away. I don't want no passive quarterly, earnings. Nah, man. Nope. Roll back 5 years ago. Hey, dog, I'm on that program. That was a huge mistake. But guess who didn't lose from that? My children didn't. Because as soon as we opened up my children's accounts, all their stock, dividend stock. And then dad and mom got on the boat too. So those are the things. That's how you do it. But how do we do that, Malcolm? I'm going to keep telling you. I'm going to beat this like a dead horse. We started with a plan, brother. Not a resolution. Not a thing, I'm going to do this. We started with a basic plan. We said, hey, man, if we're in our darkest point of our life, and I can admit where I am, I'm in the abyss. It ain't going to get no worse other than death. Let me start with a plan and let me slowly work my way out. And let me ask, Most High, there's some people out there to come into my life to advise me and let me be open with humility and gratitude to receive the information. And when I receive the information, let me apply it. That's the most important part, man.
Right.
Don't be smarter than smart.
Right.
There's millions of people with Harvard degrees that are homeless and yada yada. Not just Harvard, but I'm saying you get my point. There's no shortage on intellectual idiots in this world. You don't see anybody at Walmart greeting saying, "Oh, my dream was to be a Walmart greeter."
Right.
I mean, I actually met a person that was a millionaire dude that was a greeter at Walmart.
Wow.
But see, it don't have, because, and I'll tell you how this works. When you self-absorbed, because you got to have an ego. I've been there where I thought I was more than what I thought I was, and you don't listen to anybody. Right. So now you burn a lot of bridges. So when you're making a whole bunch of money and you burning bridges in the process, and then things go bad, you got to have access. You no longer have access. You may have intelligence, but you don't have access. And I'll give you a case in point. The guy who just got hired by the Arizona Cardinals football team, why is he the head coach of an NFL team when he got fired by his alma mater and was under 500 in 6 years of being a coach at a major two-tier university? Not a tier one, but a two-tier in football. I mean, this is right up your alley. You were a football player, right?
I'm not even familiar with the coach, actually. But wasn't he
his name is Kingsbury. He's a young, hot-looking dude who, in his last 3 years, went 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. But the emphasis is he's young, and he was Pat Mahomes' quarterback coach for 1 year at Texas Tech, but they lost. But because he's hot and happening, he just got a free pass by access of knowing somebody, not on his merits, not on his success, because he's had none.
Yep.
But he networked enough to keep the friendliness where he got a job. Now, if he burned the bridges like Chip Kelly, he'd be out of the NFL. You got me?
Right. Yeah.
So that's how intellectual idiots and people who have hubris end up being broke and on the street. And, you know, I was going down that route at one time. I knew more than anybody and all that. And bridges got burnt, you know, and then I got humbled. You know, when you lose a multi-million-dollar contract with a multi-billion-dollar company, dude, and they roll you over.
Yeah.
And you were telling everybody you better than them, guess what? Them bridges are burned, bro.
And that'll humble you.
And it'll humble you. But thanks to the wisdom and the gratitude and the grace that was bestowed upon me, you know, from you know, having you humility through that dark time, you know,
right.
I'm able to say now, man, you know, hey, I'm not trying to hit home runs, baby. I'm trying to hit singles, doubles. I'm trying to move the chains. You know, if I can get, you know, 10 yards on every 3 downs, brother, we will get to the end zone.
Right.
So that's what it's got to be about. And investing primarily is a psychological thing. It's a mindset. You know, it's a confidence. It's an assurance in yourself.
Right.
Robert Kiyosaki says emotional quotient is the key to success. There's a book called The Emotional Quotient that people should read. It's a much thicker read, but if you really want to get the vestiges of real investing, you got to get locked down into the emotional aspect of your life, the confidence. And see, you've been given the best gift from your dad and your mom, that they instill confidence in raising you up to be a leader, you know, and that's important. One, they started with the name they gave you. So you can actually look, okay, the most powerful Malcolm that we know on the planet was Malcolm X. So if I'm named Malcolm, then that automatically instills some confidence in you because I'm named Malcolm.
Right, right.
And you may not even realize it, but you put out your chest a little bit bigger because I'm Malcolm too.
Yeah.
You know I'm Malcolm, you know?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was, you know, Muhammad Ali, you know, being born in the same, you know, zodiac sign. I said, man, Muhammad Ali is a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. He had success against all odds. And if I'm thinking against the grain, dude, I can be successful like him too.
Right.
It's just those little things. That's emotional. But then you got to get down to the non-emotional from a technical standpoint and able to just to better read the information. Even when it's saying different with everybody else, first thing you want to do is go against the grain, baby. Go against the grain. Amazon went against the grain. You know, Google went against the grain. Redbox went against the grain. Netflix went against the grain. When nobody wanted to get down with them, went against the grain.
Right.
Reginald F. Lewis, the #1 black billionaire that was larger than Bill Gates, who owned TLC Beatrice. Why should white men have all the fun? Your people, if you don't know who he is, he was the most powerful black businessman in the history of the world outside of, you know, what's the African guy named Musa?
Mansa Musa.
Right, but the one we know in modern day, Reginald F. Lewis. He created the first what's called buyout, what they do in the financial world. You buy companies. He created the first multi-billion-dollar buyout in the history of America, and people don't even give him that credit.
See, I didn't even know his name until just now. So
Reginald F. Lewis. His book is called "Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun?" He died of a brain aneurysm at 50 years of age in 1992, and I think it was 92 or 94. And he did the first multi-billion-dollar buyout of Beatrice Foods.
Okay.
Black man.
We'll look that up.
He's the only person in the history of Harvard Law School to get into the law school without taking an exam.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So why aren't they teaching us that in our community?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you want to find out on him a video, you know who Rock Newman is?
Yes.
Look up Rock Newman's site on YouTube, and he has an interview with Reginald F. Lewis's wife.
Does he have a book where he's like on the cover with a cigar?
Yeah, okay. That's why should white guys have all the fun? Okay. You should read that. That's one of the books that if you are on the Urban Excellence community and you're looking for a financial book to read this year outside of technical stuff and just attitude, confidence, and integrity, investing with integrity, like I talk about in my book, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? Okay. Is the book you should read. The second book you should read outside of my book, you should read, How to Succeed in Business Without Being Black by the founder of Black Enterprise, Earl Graves. So now I'm giving you some books from some Black pioneers who piled the way for the success for the brothers like me, the brothers like you.
Right.
And that's what urban excellence is really about. These people came from nothing. Yeah, I was like, man, I was going to put on the urban excellence, but I said today, man, I had to get homage to the Negro Leagues.
Oh, yeah, I see. That's dope.
And let me tell you a little anecdote. The Negro Leagues would be worth like $30 billion today. 30 billion. Because each one of these teams have the most athletic, most accomplished Black professionals on the planet. And they sold themselves out to get permission and approval of the white man to play their sport and got nothing in exchange. Zero. Now I'll give you a parallel of how that works in the opposite. Now the NBA is comprised of the ABA and the NBA, right? Yeah. The NBA brokered a deal with the ABA after the ABA pushed it to broker a deal, but the guys who owned the ABA took ownership inside the NBA and still own their teams. Billion-dollar teams now.
Right.
There's several of them. The Nets, the Spurs, the Indiana Pacers, to name a few. But if you don't read, you don't know your research. Right. They became billion-dollar companies. In the NFL, same thing. There used to be a smaller league called the AFL, owned by Lamar Hunt of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Forced the NFL to combine their business. They didn't give up their business. They forced them to do business together and became powerful. What did us suckers do? A couple of Negroes said, oh, we're going to allow you to draft, Jackie Robinson, which I'm not a proponent for Jackie Robinson. Love Jackie Robinson. But Jackie Robinson brought the demise of the Negro Leagues. He took on all that stuff and put through all that pain in his death. You go read his book. He said he wished he wouldn't have never done it.
Wow.
Because each one of these teams will be worth billions of dollars, brother. Billions of dollars. Now, how was it that Lamar Hunt from the Kansas City Chiefs brokered his deal with the NFL? How was it that the cats from the New Jersey Nets, the San Antonio Spurs, the Indiana Pacers brokered their deal and merged and kept ownership of their company? And we didn't. They do it in soccer all the time. The Mexicans, the Hondurans, the Colombians, they own their enterprise. We own nothing. So I got to give homage to the Negro Leagues because that's $30 billion worth of business. Minimum, bro. Mm. Minimum. You want to talk about investing? Invest in yourself. Invest in urban excellence, brother. Incorporate, trademark, patent, everything you got. Bet on you. Surround yourself with your best team of advisors. Money follows management. It don't follow talent. It follows management and proven track records.
All right.
In most scenarios. Now you got to have talent to get to the door, but to get the major access to broker the huge deals, you got to have people who have proven that they can do it, or you do like LeBron did and educate your players and put them into their system and learn their education and now make your money from your, icon and your cachet. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand.
My group I went to high school with who are intelligent like these other guys, they just don't know what they don't know. So I'm going to take my cachet and say, hey, you want to do business with LeBron? Get my guy an intern at Nike. Right. Get my guy this. I don't care how slow you think he is, but you ain't going to get no deal with LeBron if my boy ain't playing some role.
Right.
Now let me get into the agent side. Now I'm going to rep these cats off of my cachet, knowing that Rich Paul, no disrespect to him, don't know much about agency, but he got agency with LeBron's cachet. And he's smart enough to learn through education, experience, and access to capital. That if everything's equal, brother, I'm going to get up on the grind and I'm going to figure this out. Yep. Because you bought me time. You gave me education. I went and learned. and now I'm going to apply it through my experience. We're going to make some, mistakes, but we're going to fail forward because we have the cachet. And just like this knucklehead that's now going to be the coach of the Arizona Cardinals, he got access because he had experience, and his real experience was he was privileged white boy.
Yep. Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining about that. I didn't catch up on what was happening.
And now here's the irony of it. He's replacing a sharp brother with integrity that got fired after 1 year.
Yep.
Steve Wilkes.
Yep.
Steve Wilkes is the second coming of Tony Dungy. That's how high respected he is. And he got put in a position of a bad franchise.
Yep. After 1 year. Once I saw he got fired, I was like, oh, okay, I know what that's about. After 1 year, come on. I know what that was about.
Right. But conversely, and I'm not playing, you can look across the table. You can even look at another brother Hugh Jackson, was able to go winless.
Yeah.
Retain his job.
Yeah.
Then go one victory, retain his job. And conversely, you've had guys who come out on the white side. The guy that used to coach for Detroit Lions was the first winless team with Detroit. He turned around and got another head coaching job.
Sure did.
Jim Caldwell, who went to the Super Bowl not once but twice, took Detroit to the playoffs 2 out of 3 times in his 4-year career. Had above 500 record, and they got rid of him and brought in a Belichick reject.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So and I know everybody's saying, man, how does that pertain to investing? Coach DJ, money coach? Well, it's real simple, because mindset, knowing your value, plan instead of investing in sexy tools, and having humility to take your time to learn will give you the proper foundation to now expand your platform. And now you'll make quantum leaps. And I always tell people this, Malcolm, I said, you know what? Our math, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 + 1 equals 11. Because we stand side by side, baby.
Right.
And we multiply exponentially by going 90 days, 180 days, 270, 365. Then we got compounded interest based on the rule of 72 through education, experience, now access to capital because we debt free. We got some vehicles in place, got some experience on hand, and now we really see the trend, and now we jump off in the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 5th year. And now we can get in cruise control. So that's really what it boils down. So hopefully that answered that question.
That answered that question and my last question, which was about the idea of having New Year's resolutions, but you went through it about how important it is to have an actual plan, and New Year's resolution doesn't really do anything for you. So you actually answered 2 questions with that one.
Yeah, because think about it. If you had a plan, would you ever need a New Year's resolution?
Yeah, sure.
You just be looking up, like I'm looking right up here to my door. Okay, where we at? Okay, what numbers we got? What vehicles? How we doing? And I'll share this with and especially when you're investing in something new, which you're doing. Okay, so I can kind of similarly equate, because I'm getting into baseball. All right, because baseball is my passion. So 3 years ago, I started out, with one baseball client. Not in addition to my son, but I said, you know what? We play for this, like AAU is called Select Baseball, traveling team. And so the coach told me, who was a former Major League Baseball player, he said, hey, man, in your area, DJ, he said, man, there's a need for people who would teach people the right principles of hitting and fielding, not teaching the fancy stuff, and be firm with them. He said, also, he said, the people make enough money that they'll pay you the right amount. So he said, all you need to do is use your sons as example. Invest in them heavily on proper skill sets, proper hitting, proper technology, and let people see your kids play, and they'll start asking, hey, man, who coaches your son?
Right.
I do. Oh, can I get a lesson with you? I started out 3 years ago charging like $20 an hour to give a hitting lesson. I now get $90 an hour.
Wow.
For the same lesson, Malcolm. But because they've seen my sons dominate, and they see my sons are principled, well-behaved, yes, sir, no, sir, not, you know, emotional roller coasters. When they lose, they not throwing stuff and everything like these, you know, pampered diva players now. They're, hey, thank you, coach, good then, boom, go back to the drawing board. So I've slowly built up a little bit of cachet. I've built some equity in the community. And now people are calling me that I thought didn't even like me, but they respect me because they want that same fruit on the tree for their children. And that's the same thing you're going to find with. So now my plan for my business in baseball is that within 24 months, I want 100 clients a month paying me $90 an hour. Do the math. So at last year, because the league, you know, fluctuate. So last year, I had at one time I had like 10 clients that were paying me the 90. That's $900 a week.
Yes.
900 times 52, that's $48,000 a year.
And that's just supplementing. Like that's not even like your number one source of income.
But my goal is to make it my number one.
Right.
So my goal is to get 100. And people might say that's a lot of people, but you know what? If I'm able to bring on one new client a month, and they're in the age group, because I did my plan.
Right.
I checked the research. I said, I'm going to work with kids age 9 to 15. That's from early elementary school right to their freshman year in high school. A sweet spot.
Right.
Where they're still in Little League, I can still be involved, and I can build them up. And if I can bring on 1 or 2 a month, and they're okay with paying me $225 or $400 a month, why couldn't I have 100 of those in 24 to 36 months?
That'd be dope.
And what if I just get a third? What if I get 30? What's 30 times 90? That's $2,700 a week. So what's $2,700 a week times 9 months? Which basically you get 4.2 weeks in a month. I'll show you how simple a plan works. That's $11,000 a month. And in baseball, it's a 7-month season because they're excited. Right. But 90% of people don't think they can achieve what they ultimately can achieve in 5 years because they get deflated from not achieving them ridiculously bold, you know, goals. Right. Oh man, I'll make $1 million this year and I ain't even made 50,000. And then when you don't make that million, oh man, I can't make that million. But if you start out and say, hey man, I just want to make 50,000. Then I figure out how to make 50. I realize 50 is just another zero because I got the foundation down. 50 is easy to get to 500.
Right.
And 500 is easy to get to a million because I did just like, you know, Mahomes, who was the original first female black, you know, millionaire. And I went from one person selling, you know, hair care products to over 10,000. And in like 1910, 1920, I was making $6 million a year. I did it one door knock at a time, but you know what I did? Just like her, she realized that the World's Fair was coming to St. Louis in 1903. She went from Metropolis, Illinois, and moved to St. Louis because she studied the plan. You feel me? Right. She studied where the currency and the market and the politics were going, and she ventured the calculated risk and went there a little bit ahead of time. So what would that mean for you? Okay. What are the opportunities on the landscape of the internet and social media? Just like you look, hey, my merch, my cash apps, my platform, I invest in that first because that's building a pipeline. Right. Then I go catch them fish because they told me they're going to be right there on this portion of the shore. I just got to get that pipeline there. Right. And that's from getting good information. So how you do that is that you do research. When I moved where I live now, I went to the group and did the government program where every third Wednesday of the month, they had a government program told you about everything that's happening in the municipality in our county, 10 years out. And I trusted that information because all these big companies were there investing heavily on those data and analytics. And you know what? 10 years later, 90% of stuff they said has come to fruition, i.e., professionals who moved in my community got $250,000 incomes and they have children from the age 9 to 15 and they still don't look like us. They invest in what the number one pastime is, baseball. And they have disposable income where they spend anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to keep their children happy. So here's Coach DJ. Want to learn about baseball? Want to learn about hitting? Well, what gives you the validation to do it? Well, number one, you see my children. Number two, I played. And number three, I've been around here. All you gotta do is ask.
Right.
And I'm not the cheapest in town, baby. If I'm the best, you're gonna pay me what the best is.
Fact.
$90 an hour.
It's a fact.
Fact. So yeah, the tools, they're gonna always be some hot, sexy tool, Malcolm. But the principles, universal, never change. You know, emulate the principles of success. Don't duplicate and be a second-rate copy of somebody, especially investing, especially in business, and especially in leadership.
Right.
That's it. That's important. That's an important piece, man. So we excited, man. Like I said, we're excited about 2019 because it's just, you know, we're working on our 2017 plan. In 2019, we're working on our 2017 plan, making a couple of modifications to it.
Thank you again for joining us. This is amazing. It was a lot of gems packed into this. Talk. For the people who have extra questions, we're going to be doing this like once a month.
Absolutely.
You can send your questions to urbanx@nyc@gmail.com, and you could, and even in the comment section below, you know, have some questions that you thought that you wish I would have asked, or if you wanted to ask. So the next time, you know, me and DJ, we get up, I can ask these questions, and then that's how it goes.
Hey, and like I said, hey, let's put a webinar together for your people. Teach them family finances 101.
Okay.
That's part of the plan.
Okay.
And let's get it, because you know tax season's right around the corner, and it's in that, and that part of the plan will help them get them solidified, show them the right vehicles of investing, how to get consumer debt free, and show them how to ask the right questions, like your mother did starting out. What's the difference between a whole life and a term policy? But guess what? What's my cost per thousand?
Right.
You know, what vehicle is the appropriate one for me at this stage of my life? And if your professional can't answer that, then that's not the professional for you to work with. And so you need to have your financial, you know, encyclopedia, and that's what that'll do for you. And again, you know, it's all about this. If you have this, you never need us ever again, because every chapter is about everything in money.
Right.
Any access to money, and then you just come with this, you know, the 7 spheres of money. Teach you about every category of money. And that's what your people need to have. And what you'll see is most important. You see that? You see them black faces?
Yep.
That's what my team is, baby.
That's what it is.
Each one of those people are business owners, own their own independent business, and they have specialties in every category of the 7 spheres of money. So the guy that's right behind me, the dark guy, is Kent Stevens, that created a program called Start Small, Watch It Grow, that teaches children mindset about dividend stock. So I got sisters on my team, sharp professionals, real estate, the whole nine. We've been doing this since 2002, and formerly 2002, but we actually been doing it since 2000.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how we rock. That's how we rock it out, man. See, everything about the plan, just like you. That's DI.
Yeah.
That's DI. We rock and roll. I'll send it to you. I'll send the survey.
Okay.
Information to you, and then we'll put a customized program together for the urban excellence community, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Keep knocking it down, man. Hey, we excited for 2019, and man, like your dad said, you coming up on 1 year. I heard yesterday on your thing, you're coming up on 1 year. So hey, y'all keep sending those donations to Malcolm, because they're not really donations. They're actually investments in the community to actually create another media mogul. That's really what it is. And what I would encourage you to do, man, study how Irv Graves built, his enterprise, literally became Black Enterprise.
Yeah, I wrote his name down.
Yeah. So stay on point with that, because you can become the new John Johnson, who created Ebony and Jet, and who unfortunately just sold their catalog to a white company, which is becoming the standard now. We're giving away our legacy, which is our real wealth, is that we're building up Black institutions, and they're getting so much cachet, and the value of them appropriating our culture. We're exchanging our culture for dollars and getting that instant money just for our generation.
Yeah.
And we're extinguishing our own people.
Mm.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something like on the term of the black dot. I mean, think about this. Think about the profoundness of this, that I took the root and I sold it to a Hispanic organization, but they still got black faces telling us what our culture is, and they are monetizing and exploiting us. I sold BET to a Jewish company and got my billion, and here's the irony. He ain't even a billionaire no more. Man. Instead of staying entrenched. And I get it. You know, you want to sell off stuff and make a little bit, but hey, man, shave off a little bit, but keep the legacy, because guess what? Madam C.J. Walker legacy is gone. They're not in the care business. They created the extensions and everything. Mahoney, who was her mentor, created the black hair care business. Who owns that now? The Koreans. Now flip the script. Can you go to Korea and own anything of their culture?
No way.
And own anything of their culture?
No way.
There's a point where there can't be a price on us.
Right.
But everything is a price, and they know the model. That's the sad thing about it. So I'm going to say to you, my young friend, hey, man, don't ever sell your business. If you find yourself in a hard time, and you're going to have some hard times, because to be ultimately significant in life, you're going to have some hard times. Hey, have part of your plan of what you can sell off that don't delineate or dilute or extinguish your legacy. And that's what you're seeing now. The model that these companies, multinational companies, doing, let's find the last bastions of success in Black America, and let's offer them a dollar amount, because we already know the model. They will sell at some price. And they would think that their children will have the wisdom to invest that money, but they don't know how to do real investing. So they sell it off, like Rice, who's the only daughter of the ebony owner of John Johnson. Sold off their portfolio, their catalog. Essence just recently got purchased by old boy, but that's not as big as Ebony was. And so you only have one bastion of our iconic, publishing left is Black Enterprise.
Right.
And I won't be surprised if they sell off, because they're not as big as they used to be. They should be a multi-billion-dollar enterprise.
Yes, yes.
The only sad part about with Reginald Lewis, it's not in the Black community. It's in the Filipino community, and more now being appropriated by the white community, but his business is still vibrant. Ebony and Jet, dude, people use that as a placemat now. That used to be the Bible for us.
Yeah, Jet Beauty and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the success stories of overcoming stuff now, dude, it's almost like a joke. You couldn't go into any Black family's house and not see Ebony, Jet, Black Enterprise. Dude, you don't see that now.
Right.
Because guess what? I can't get my dollars behind what I know, hey, man, that's really been run by a white company, a Hispanic company. Why am I giving my money? I create my own narrative. But, that was my PSA. I apologize for that, guys, but I really don't. I'm just keeping it a buck. So, as we say here at the 7 Spheres of Money, Malcolm, hey, we want you to live a pom-pom lifestyle. Let's have plenty of money, peace of mind, and we want you to join us on the beaches of the World Club, because that's what you deserve. Can't take none of this stuff with you. But the legacy, brother, is in passing on people like you, building up and understanding the value of what you really are. So don't ever, I know your dad's never going to let you do that, but I'm just letting you know, that's the real investment right there. I commend you, proud of you.
Thank you. So I really appreciate you. And thank you again for coming, for giving all these gems, again, all this game. And it's really the value in these conversations are amazing. So with that being said, I'm Malcolm. This is DJ, the Money Coach. I'll have his information in the description below. Again, if you have questions, you can put it in the comment section, or you can email them to me at urbanx.nyc@gmail.com. With that being said, peace.